We're about to dive into a really cool, kind of forgotten piece of NBA history. It's the story of a team that was there at the very beginning, and then, poof, they were gone.
All right, let me ask you something. When you think of pro basketball in Cleveland, what team pops into your head? The Cavs, right? Of course. But what if I told you they weren't the first? Any guesses who was?
Well, here they are, the Cleveland Rebels. This was the city's original pro team. And look at those dates, 1946 to 1947. That's it, one season. They showed up, played some ball, and then just vanished. So what on earth happened? Let's get into it. Okay, so to really get the Rebels' story, we gotta rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. The year is 1946. World War II is over, and people are looking for something new, something exciting to watch. And out of that, a brand new pro sports league is born. That league was called the Basketball Association of America, or the BAA for short. Now, this is super important. This wasn't just some random league that fizzled out. No way. The BAA is the direct forerunner of the NBA we all watch today. This is literally where it all started. This is ground zero. And guess who was there from the jump? The Cleveland Rebels. They weren't an expansion team that joined later on. Nope. They were one of the original 11 franchises. A founding member. Think about that. They were there for the opening tip-off of the entire league. So, if they were a founding team, what in the world happened to them? Let's take a look at their one and only season, their single shot at glory. And here's what's wild. They weren't bad, not by a long shot. They finished the season with 30 wins and 30 losses. Perfectly balanced, a solid .500 record. And you know what? That was good enough to get them third place in their division and, more importantly, a ticket to the very first BAA playoffs. And they didn't just show up to the playoffs, they were competitive. They went toe-to-toe with the New York Knickerbockers, yeah, those Knicks, and took them to a decisive third game. This team had real talent for the time, guys like Big Ed Zawdowski and Kenny Sailors. These were legit early pro stars. Okay, so this is the part that just doesn't add up, right? You've got a founding franchise. They're a playoff team. They're competitive. So why did they just disappear? This is where the story takes a sharp turn, from a pretty decent season to, well, to nothing. The first clue, as you might guess, comes down to money. A lot of it. The team lost $75,000 in one season. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like chump change today. But you have to remember, this was 1947. That was a staggering amount of money, an absolutely colossal financial hit. But you know, it wasn't just about the cash. This quote from the team president, a guy named Al Sufin, really gets to the heart of it. He straight up admitted to a lack of desire to promote pro basketball. The passion just wasn't there. The will to push through those tough financial times, it was gone. It's like his heart just wasn't in it anymore. And man, when it fell apart fast. The Rebels get knocked out of the playoffs in April. By June 9th, less than 2 months later, they're officially done. They folded. They were the first of those original 11 teams to collapse, but they weren't the only ones. 3 other teams folded that same summer. It just shows you how shaky the ground was for this new league. So what kind of legacy does a one-season wonder leave behind? You'd think maybe not much, right? But for the city of Cleveland, the Rebels' quick exit cast a really long shadow. Just look at this. The Rebels fold up shop in 1947. And Cleveland? Well, Cleveland doesn't get another top-level pro basketball team until 1970, when the Cavaliers show up. 23 years. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's an entire generation of fans in a major American city who grew up without a hometown team to root for. The Rebels disappearing created this massive black hole that lasted for more than 2 decades. And that just leaves you with this incredible what if, doesn't it? What if the team had managed to just break even that first year? Or maybe more to the point, what if the team's president just hadn't given up? What if he'd had that desire to see it through? Could the Rebels have made it? It's kind of a crazy thought that so much of basketball history could have changed, not by some huge event, but because one guy just decided he was done trying.